Welcome to Talking Crue, an official Motley Crue podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Humphrey, where I talk all things in the world of Motley Crue. This is a bonus episode this week, Hollywood CrueFest 2025, with my special guest, Nick, right over there.
Hey,
Hey, Nick, welcome to the show.
thanks for having me, Kevin.
No problem. I'm glad to finally get you on here. We've been emailing and texting, and my bad. I put the wrong freaking
We
phone
made it
number
happen.
in. Somebody's probably looking at their phone like, who the hell is this? All right. So I want to start off. How did you become a Motley Crue fan?
You know what? I was at a buddy's house. This was in late 83, early 84, and he had Shout at the Devil. And I, at the time, had never heard of Motley Crue. And he was playing it. And I'm like, who is this? And that's where it all started. I remember we were playing video games, and he was playing Motley Crue, and that's what got me into him.
Awesome. Well, I came into my cousin, one of my cousins, he had videotaped some videos on MTV.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed me Ozzy's Shot at the Dark, which I absolutely love that song.
Yeah,
And then he showed me Smoking in the Boys Room.
right.
And I was
Nice.
watching it and I was like, who is this? And he's like, Motley Crue. I kept asking him, who is this? And then it was Home Sweet Home, the next video. And
Yeah,
it was done. I was a
yeah,
Crue fan ever since.
that's awesome.
Okay. So when does this event take place and where? Hollywood
It,
Crue
it
Fest.
it is this year. It's on Saturday, July 12th. It's at the Whiskey in Hollywood. It's been at the Whiskey every year we've done it since 2001. And it's the last Saturday in July. We've kept it at that, and this year we had to move. The Whiskey had some stuff going on, and so we moved it to July 12th this year.
Awesome. How cool is it that to have an event at the Whiskey, especially the legendary history and Motley Crue playing there? They just played last year there.
I actually got to go to that show, the Hollywood Takeover. I got to go to the Whiskey show. So yeah, it was really, really cool. Yeah, it was fun. I got to see some friends there, and it was a special time. Just to see them playing at the Whiskey was really special. It's funny, the time before that I saw them was in Mexico City, sold out 65,000 people. I was in the front row in another country, so it was really cool just to be there. But to go from 65,000 to 450 was pretty cool. Both very memorable shows for different reasons.
Awesome. So do you ever get on that stage and be like, this is where they stood? I know I would be.
You know, I probably did back when this first started. CrueFest started in 2001. So this is our 22nd show in the 25 years. And now it's I think it becomes normal. Um, I think at the time, like when I was first there, but that's been like so long ago, I don't remember.
Right.
But it's just such a special place. I never do CrewFest anywhere else. I mean, when you've done it at the Whiskey for a quarter of a century, it's just where else would you go?
Right.
And
Exactly.
and it, honestly, if we wasn't doing it at the Whiskey, we wouldn't do it. It's the Whiskey is as much a part of CrewFest as me or anybody else that works on it.
Awesome. So what can Crue fans expect when they go?
You know what? You meet other Crue fans. We have bands and people from all over the world that come every year, as far away as Australia, Sweden, Norway. We literally have bands and people that come every year, and it's like a family reunion for Motley Crue fans. And that's how the whole thing started, is just a get together for Motley Crue fans. And there's been some people that was coming back then that aren't coming now. It's kind of been a revolving thing where you have some new ones come on and some other ones go away, but it's still the same thing. It's a family reunion and a get together for Motley Crue fans.
That is awesome. Yeah, because I noticed a lot of new fans coming in that
Yeah.
watch this show because of the dirt or
Yeah.
because they
Yes.
got to the stadium tour. And
Yep.
I love this band. So speaking of bands, who are playing there? What bands are playing?
You know what? We've got mainly we have all original bands. Some are local. We have LA Story, who the singer Eric Hatchett's actually our MC and does a great job. Dead Groove is playing for the first time this year. Um, Blacklist Union and Black Valentine, who have both played. I think this is like four times that each of them's played. Um, we also have some tribute bands. We have Lewd and Crude. It's a Motley Crue tribute band from Seattle. We have a Poison tribute band, Poisonous, coming all the way from Australia to play.
Oh,
And Next Talon is coming from Oklahoma. And then we have our friends, the Vinyl Cats, who have played, I think this is their fourth time also. And then all the way from New York is the band JJ Savage. And Joey, uh, the main guy in that band, has played CrueFest probably four times. So it's like a family reunion even with the bands. They become part of it. And sometimes even when the people aren't playing, they'll still come and just support. So it's really
awesome.
nice. Yeah.
So this event is for charity, right?
Yes, everything raised goes to Letty's Angels of Hope. Um, it used to go to the Skylar Neal Foundation, and that's not around anymore. And so we just found another place for it to go to help people with cancer. And
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
it's been great. Yeah, this everything for the first quite a while. I'd say at least 15 years went to the Skylar Neal Foundation, but it's been going to Letty's here recently. But everything raised, we have a fee for the whiskey. They give us a discount, but it's getting the whiskey on a Saturday night. You can't get
Yeah.
that for free.
No,
So
I'd say not.
we have an expense for that. But everything, everybody that puts it together, all the bands, everybody plays for free. The bands coming from other countries, nobody gets paid anything. The
Wow.
staff, everybody pays their own flight, hotel, rental car. I mean, it's a $20 admission at a place that holds 450 people. So, you're not talking about tens of thousands of dollars,
Right,
So
exactly.
if I was to be paying everybody, there'd be nothing for the charity. So
Right.
I go out like a week before and make a vacation of it. I'll get ready for the show, but it's also a lot of vacation time and hanging out with friends and stuff like that. That's makes it, worth it to me. And just to go out there and have a good time and like I said, more like a family reunion, even the week leading up to it.
Awesome. So what inspired you to create this event?
It started at motley.com on the Shout message board, and this was before social media. We all used to interact and we had screen names, and as you know, and nobody knew what anybody's real name was, nobody knew what anybody looked like.
Nope.
And we just thought it would be cool to have a get together where we could put like names with faces. And that's how it all got started. I actually made reservations in Los Angeles and made a post and called it CrueFest. And people are like, well, what's your plan? And I was like, I'm gonna need help. And ideas just kind of came in. Let's have it at a cool place. Let's have some bands play. Let's have the money go to a good cause. The ideas just kind of snowballed, and in 2001 it got started, and it's been going ever since. 2010 we couldn't do one, just we had some internal stuff we was working on, and then 2020 and 2021 because of COVID we couldn't do it. But other than those 3 years, it's been an annual event since 2001.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember on Motley Shout
Yeah.
promos and message boards, I was like, Crew Fest? Where? LA? I don't know. Man, I want to go.
Yeah, I mean, Ozfest was going on, and I'd been to a thing called WrestleFest, and so the name CrewFest just kind of popped into my head. It wasn't a big stretch, you know. We're
Right.
all fans of Motley Crue, and you know that's where it came from. And the same year, one started in Cleveland also, and it went for a few years. And yeah, Hollywood and Cleveland were the first two. A few others have come along since then, come and gone. The only ones that are still around, to my knowledge, is Hollywood, and then Cleveland. I think has still done one the last few years. They have a get together in Cleveland. My friend Angie puts that together, and she does a really good job as well. And everything also goes to charity.
That's awesome. Okay, so where can Motley Crue fans find info?
The website is hollywoodcruefest.com. Or if you're on Instagram or Facebook, I believe it's under CrueFest Hollywood. But yeah, Motley called their tour CrueFest a couple years. I think it was like 2009 and 10 or 2010 and 11.
Yeah.
So because we used to just go by CrueFest, but when they did that, we went by CrueFest Hollywood just because we didn't want people showing up and paying $20 and expecting to see Motley at the Whiskey.
Right.
So we wanted to kind of separate it because we didn't want to mislead anybody. And so that's where the CrueFest Hollywood came from instead of just CrueFest. But yeah, if you Google CrueFest Hollywood, like I said, you'll find it.
Awesome. So if you got time, let's talk a little bit of Motley Crue.
That'll be great.
All right. So what's your favorite song or songs?
Wow. You know what? I don't know if I could narrow it down. Kickstart My Heart's huge, but a lot of those early songs that got me into it, 10 Seconds to Love and Too Fast for Love and Shout at the Devil, those early Motley songs is what got me to be a fan. And I don't know if I could narrow it down to one, but yeah, there's just so many good ones.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Well,
I
I
don't know
did.
if what's your favorite one? Do you
Well,
have a
see,
favorite?
I'm the same way as you. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm the you remember Uncensored, Motley Crue Uncensored, when
Uh-huh.
they asked Nikki. Yeah, it's definitely Danger. No,
Yeah.
it's 10 seconds. No, it's this or that.
On
Yeah, I'm
with
the
the
same
Show was
way.
great from that video also.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Because I can't. I did an episode of ranking my top 10 Motley Crue music videos.
I
That was
couldn't even
freaking
do that.
difficult. I was like, what do I leave out?
Yeah, I don't even know if I could pick my top 10, let alone rank them. So that's how bad I am. You're asking for one. I don't even know if I could give you 10 and like without feeling bad about leaving stuff out. So
Yeah, I know, because I felt like, well, I left out Kickstart My Heart and I felt so bad. I was like, man, I love that video. But
yes. Yeah, yeah, you feel guilty. I get it.
right. All right. So here's an age-old question. Did Vince get fired or did he quit?
You know what? I've thought about this, and what I really think happened was I think that there was a lot of anger and they were both sides were upset. And I really think that they were just there together and they were arguing and having their say. And whether it was Nikki saying, you know what, we don't need you anymore, and Vince is like, fine, I quit, or whether Vince says, you know what, I quit, and Vince or Nikki's like, you know what, we don't want you, or something like that.
Yeah.
I honestly feel because when you ask either one, they both think it was the other one. And I honestly think it was something that happened at the same time because both feelings were mutual.
Right.
And it was like a mutual parting of ways at the same time. I really think it was something like that because if it was definitively one or the other, they would know who it was. And the fact that they're getting along now and they can't honestly tell you tells me it's a kind of a F you and F you and you go your separate ways. And I
Right.
really think it was something like that. I hate to
Yeah.
take the high road and not give you a direct
No,
answer, but that's honestly what I think happened.
I'm the same way. I think they got into an argument. Vince says, fine, I quit. And then Nikki said, no, you're fired. Or
Yeah.
Nikki said,
Or
you're
vice
fired.
versa.
Yeah, say the vice
Yeah.
versa. I love to hear from Doug Thaler, who was there.
Yeah.
He hadn't said a word. In fact, I hadn't seen him in anything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you never hear anything from Doug. Doc's all over the place, but you never hear anything from Doug. Doc's everywhere. Doug's nowhere. Even in the
Yeah.
dirt, they write Doug out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They put the wrong tattoo on the wrong manager. I
Yeah,
got the theater
yeah,
or what do you got? Entertainment or death.
yeah. That's funny.
No, it's theater of pain now. Wrong manager. It's the wrong manager.
Yeah,
All right. And here's another one. Do you think MC '94 was a Motley Crue album?
I do. Um, I do. And I love that album. As a Motley fan, I mean, Vince will always be the voice of Motley Crue, but that album with Karabi, I love John as a person. I love that album. I mean, it was all the guys in Motley Crue doing it, just a different singer.
Yeah.
Nobody questions the albums that Tommy wasn't on.
No.
It's still Motley Crue. And I think the people that resented that album years ago did it because Vince was the voice and they just kind of rejected it just because it was a different person. But I mean, you look at John, I mean, if somebody offered either one of us a chance to sing for Motley Crue, who the hell would say no? Right. So,
Right.
and he showed up and did an awesome job, and the songs were great. And I think people gave him a lot of crap just because he was not Vince Neil.
Mhm.
But I think over the years, people have really warmed up to not only that album but John, and now I don't think it's as bad of a thing as it was back in the day. And yes, I do think it was, and I think John did awesome. I mean, Vince will always be the singer of Motley, but that period, that album with John, I thought was great.
Yeah, same here. I loved Vince's solo album that came out,
I,
Exposed.
I
That was
yeah,
great too.
Exposed.
And I
Carved
was
in
like,
stone.
yeah. I mean, there's some good songs on there. Not
There is
great, but
some.
there's some good. There's
You
some good
can't be a
stuff on
Motley
there.
Crue fan and not like that Exposed album. I mean, it
Yeah.
was literally a takeoff of Motley Crue. I mean, those songs,
Yeah.
if it was said Motley Crue, every people would have bought it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it just and that was a bad time too. That was going into the 92, 93 area where
Right.
the 80s style music was kind of going out. If that would have been a Motley Crue album in the 80s, it would have been great.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Definitely.
yeah, Exposed was awesome.
Yeah. And you brought up the other Motley albums. I mean, Tommy Lee wasn't on New Tattoo, but they still call it a Motley Crue album.
Exactly. And
And I
nobody talks
feel
about that.
Yeah, and I still feel the same way with the canceled EP. John Five's a member of the band. It's a Motley Crue record.
Yes, exactly. And nobody talks about that either. And John does look, I mean, there's nobody that's a Motley Crue fan that doesn't love Mick Mars. And we all wish that he was still there. But, I mean, Mick just can't tour anymore. I mean,
No,
he's the one that left. And, the other stuff that's gone on since then, I really hate because those guys, you can't be a Motley Crue fan and not love Mick Mars.
right.
So, I mean, everybody has a special place in their heart for Mick. And, I don't get into I love the guys in the band. I love Mick. And so I try not to get into it. I love them all. John's kind of like Karabi was, he's
Yeah,
he's given the
exactly.
opportunity to play in Motley Crue and he does a great job.
He
And
does
and he's a great
outstanding.
guy. And I mean, it's not his fault, who
Mm,
once again, who wouldn't take that opportunity?
exactly.
And
And he's a Motley Crue fan.
exactly.
Because
And
he
and
said,
a great guy. I met him once. It was when he was still with Rob Zombie. Such a nice, humble, down to earth, great guy, and he's a big Motley Crue fan, like you said. And what's there not to like? But you get on the internet and everybody's got an opinion, and some people just like to not be nice, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, it's the mixed situation is tough. But yeah, John's done a great job, but who doesn't love Mick Mars?
right,
So
exactly. All right. Well, I appreciate your time on being
thank
on
you.
the
Thank you for
show.
having me.
No problem. If you ever want to come back on, just give me a holler. I got a ton of stuff to talk about.
Oh, that's great. I appreciate it. And thank you for getting it out there. Yeah, CrewFest is coming up. It's only in 3 weeks. And like I said, it'll be our 22nd show in 25 years. I've actually got a 25-year, I don't know if you see, 25-year anniversary
Awesome.
shirt on. You can get that online and other merch at HollywoodCrueFest.com. You can also buy tickets to the show there. Um, so yeah, you're able to get all that there, and you can find out like about history and read a little bit about it, who's been there. There's a lot of good things on there at HollywoodCrueFest.com.
Awesome. Thank you once again.
Thank you,
I
Kevin. I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it, buddy. Uh-huh.
All
Good,
right.
good talking to you, and you have a great one.
You too.
All
If
right.
this,
Take care, buddy.
you too.
All right.
Bye bye.
Hey.
If this is the first time you've seen this, then I talk all things in the world of Motley Crue, from the band itself to the current members, past members, Mick Mars, John Corabi, albums, tours, TV shows, you name it. I'll talk about it. It's their world. We just live in it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, 40th anniversary episode of Something Motley Crue. I ain't gonna let the cat out of the bag until tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And you just took a ride on the wild side.